Hello, my friends, and welcome back for another live episode of Wake Up and Barça right here on the Undefeated channel. Welcome back. I've got another episode for you covering live Barcelona news. In today's episode, we'll be discussing the surprise loan of Pablo Torre. Didn't see that one coming. Oriel Romeu on the other side on his way in. Gundogan has been presented for Barcelona, so we'll be talking about all that and more. Frank KESSIE, don't forget about that. His name is on the chopping block, I should say, the transfer list for exits. I'm going to slow things down, find my words here. It's been a long day already. My goodness. You know, typically we do these in the morning, but we're on a summer schedule and work happens and all of these things. So here we are, folks. Nice little, early evening, late afternoon, whatever you want to call it, here on the East Coast. Wherever you're watching, I appreciate you being here. Drop a like if you're enjoying the content. Show your love and support for the channel. We're going to kick things off the right way here, my friends.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now tuning in to the undefeated Mustache John.
My goodness. All right, rough start. Getting tongue-tied and everything. This is what happens. Typically, we do these episodes every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But summer schedule, vacations, all these things. We've been doing it, once a week now on Mondays? Sometimes I'm like, do I even remember how to do this? So, appreciate you hanging in there with me. We're going to kick off the conversation here, starting with Gundogan officially being presented by Barcelona. A quote here from Barça DNA sharing what Gundogan said earlier, said, "I expect beautiful football. We have young people. We have also have experience. The base is there, the potential too. I came for that with a lot of motivation. I will bring my experience and quality in the middle. I can play 6, 8, project myself." So I'm excited for that. He's looking to come in. He's looking to make an impact. So let me know in the chat, where do you see Gundogan fitting in? Will he be a go-to starter in the big matches? Is he going to be in the starting 11 over a Gavi or a Pedri? I don't really see that happening, but where do you see him fitting in? Are we going to stick to a 4 in the midfield? Are we going to switch back to a 4-3-3? What do you see with Gundogan coming in? That's really one of the big names that we have. Of course, there are others that we're going to get to, but we're going to start the conversation with Gundogan. What do you think is the impact? Where is he going to play? Is he going to be in the regular starting 11? Let me know your thoughts. I'm going to turn to the chat. We'll get the conversation going. I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. It is Monday, the start of our week. Oh, I feel like I could use a week off, to be honest. Last week was a long week, and this weekend was long as well. Had some fun times, saw some friends. It was wonderful. But I did not get my rest. So struggling through today, but we're going to make it. We're going to make it together, my friends. Talking about Barcelona news. Again, drop a like, show your love and support for the channel. If you're watching over on TikTok, swipe over, click the link in the bio. That gets you over to the Undefeated Mustache John YouTube channel, which is where you want to be. So with that out of the way, again, we are first discussing the presentation of Gundogan. Where do you see him fitting in here? I'm going to turn to the chat, see who we got hanging out with us, see how we're feeling. And just scrolling up. Oh, also, I do have a poll going. What do we think about the loan for Pablo Torre? We're going to talk about that next, but go ahead and respond to the poll while you got a moment. Midway, how we doing? Greg, hello. Says, wasn't expecting a late evening stream, but yes, here we are. I wanted to do it earlier in the morning, but slow start. Like I said, long weekend. Didn't really hit the ground running today, we'll say. Saint, good afternoon to you. Jacob, hello. Says we're winning it all this season. I'll say we're in the running. I would maybe temper those expectations a little bit. We'll see what other moves Barcelona makes here in the upcoming month, but I do like the direction that we're headed. Midway says, watch Pablo Torre ball out for Girona. I rate him highly. I hope he does. I hope he has a wildly successful season, because one way or another that benefits Barcelona, whether it's him coming back with a little bit more development, a little bit more experience to be slotted in to our midfield, or increases the value. Make a little coin on that transfer. We'll see. Royson, how we doing, sir? Glad to see ya. Lore, welcome back. Saint says we're going to win that sextuple. I hope so. Just scrolling through, catching up on the chat here. Saint says, I see a 3-4-3 of a midfield with Gavi, a left mid, Frankie de Jong, or Gavi left mid, Frankie de Jong center mid, Gundogan center mid, and then who would be right mid? I'm not gonna dive too far into it because I'm gonna wait until I have the graphics set up, so I'm not just explaining who's going where. But I do see a 3-2-4-1 formation. Let me make sure the math is right on that. 3-2-4-1. Yes. 3-2-4-1 formation. I'll dive into the details in future episodes. Make sure you are subscribed so you stay up to date on all the speculations. We'll do another 8 bold predictions. I got, what was it, 4 or 5 of them that I got correct from the last time? I forget. You're gonna have to go back and watch the year-end recap, I guess. But we'll go over projected lineups. We'll go over 8 bold predictions. We'll talk realistic expectations as well. All that's coming up, my friends, on future episodes, of course. On this episode, we got some transfer news to catch up on. Jedi Trick says Pablo Torre going to shine this year on loan at Girona. Well, like I said, I certainly hope so. He is on his way over to Girona. Total Barça sharing that the deal with Girona for Oriel Romeu sends the young Pablo Torre the other way on loan. So he's not going on the U.S. tour, and there is no option to buy. So everyone can breathe easy. He's definitely coming back to Barcelona if Barcelona want him. Okay, there's no option to buy. So it's in our favor. And we do have Oriel Romeu coming back to the club, a La Masia graduate. He spent time at Chelsea. He spent time at Southampton when they were a little bit better of a club. And he spent time at Girona, a few other places as well. So here he is coming back to his roots, playing for Barcelona. I'm excited for this one. I know some people aren't, but I'm in favor of what Bernice here said. I've not had the opportunity to meet Bernice, but maybe we'll reach out, get her on the channel later. Seems to be a Barcelona supporter. Shared this piece of wisdom. Says, don't criticize the signing of Oriel Romeu right away. We did the same with Christensen, and we ended up falling in love with him. Amen to that. If Xavi wants him, we want him too. In Xavi we trust. Welcome to the best club in the world, Oriel Romeu. Well, thank you, Bernice. Shout out to @the_Bernice_. Wise words that we need to follow there. Okay, we have pretty impatient expectations sometimes, so we need to calm a coolace with the expectations, give him a little bit of time. But I am optimistic for Oriel here. I think he's going to come in. He's not Busquets, all right? He's not Busquets. Everyone needs to understand that. He's not Busquets. He's not Zubamendi. He's not Kimmich, all right? So let's have reasonable expectations. And I think he can meet, if not outperform them. I think he will be part of a regular rotation off the bench. I think he will be the starting pivot for Copa del Rey. That'll be the role that Oriel will fill. And I think we will appreciate him wearing the Blaugrana kit once again. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Yanel says, am I the only one who thinks Pablo Torre is better than Gavi? Woof. Yee. I will say, it is interesting how much support Gavi has gotten versus Pablo Torre. But again, in Xavi we trust. We're not there on the training ground. We're not seeing the fine details of what's happening. So in Xavi we trust. Ovi, good to see you, my friend. Says, by the way, to anyone who hasn't heard Girona anthem song, please go and listen. It's the best anthem for a football club. All right, I have not heard it, so I'll have to go and give that a listen as well. Royson says, I think we're going to do better in Champions League this season. I would hope so. Getting out of the group right now is the goal. But if we can get to a respectable performance in a semifinal, I'm cool with that. Again, we are building for the future here. I think we got a puncher's chance, good as chance as anybody, but we're not favorites going in by any means. We got a lot of holes to fill still. Jacob, sharing the same sentiment, says, hope we make it to the semifinal. Laura says, yeah, I think Romeu is going to be a great utility player, arguably Girona's best player last season. Good. I'm glad we're seeing some optimism here. Again, over on TikTok there, if you want the full experience, swipe over, click the link in the bio. That'll get you to where you need to be. over on the Undefeated Mustache John channel. All right, so please do swipe on over, click the link in the bio. And if you are watching on YouTube, don't be shy about participating in the conversation. This is your chance to ask questions, give opinions, connect with your fellow culés from around the world. This is a global community that you're checked in here. So again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so you can be part of the conversation, and drop a like if you're enjoying the content. Nima says, hearing news on Ronald Araujo hiring a new trainer and a nutrition expert. I saw that as well, and I would say good for him. Glad to see it. I appreciate when players take that kind of thing seriously and put some resources, some time, some energy behind it, so that they can be the best version of themselves. I mean, they are professional athletes at the end of the day. You know, Dembele, for example, drew a lot of criticism, picking up injuries. Word came out, bad sleeping habits, bad diet, this and that, not disciplined. Okay, you don't want that. Ronald Araujo wants to be on the pitch for us. He wants to be there, support the club, get the health, get the fitness in line. So I appreciate that. Good move by a future captain, I'll say. Ahmed, good to see you. Says, I think that the Torre loan is good, so he could play more. I agree. I think with Gundogan coming in, with Romeu coming in, don't think there's going to be a lot of playing time. You got to remember, Nico's coming back. He's going to have an opportunity to play. I don't think there's going to be a lot of playing time for a young Pablo Torre. So I think this is best move for player and club at this point. That's my thought. Ovi says, don't know why, but I think a midfield of Gavi, Pedri, and Pablo Torre will work for Barca. Pedri in that Boosie role, Torre as a cam, and Gavi as box to box. Maybe one day when Pedri gets his full-grown man body. Maybe. But I think you are dreaming big dreams, I'll say. Not that Pedri couldn't play a pivot in terms of positioning, receiving and distribution of the ball, sure, but I'd be worried about the defensive side and the physicality. That would be my concerns. Jacob asks, what will your reaction be if Barca win the UCL this year? Can you tell me what you think if it happens? I'd be pretty surprised if it happens. I know Man City are losing some players, but I'd put them up there for a repeat. Real Madrid are very scary, even though they're losing Benzema. PSG are going to be very interesting. No Messi. Who knows if they're going to have Mbappe? If Mbappe ends up getting sold, that could cause all kinds of restructures for different clubs. So, who knows? Who knows? Who knows? It's I'll say it's way too early. We got to get a couple months into it and see. I like to get a match or two into the group stage before we really start picking favorites. So, we'll see. We'll see. Which Barca players do you think need a physique change? They all just need to grow up into their full-grown adult bodies. That's all it is. I mean, most of these guys, they're under 25 still. You know, you got to wait and get that man muscle going. You know, it'll happen though. It'll happen. You just got to give it a little bit of time. But let's jump back over to the news. Talk about the updates here from Barca Buzz, sharing who we have brought in so far. We got Mikhail, we got Ilkay, we got Inigo, we got Vitor, we got Oriel, and we've only spent what? Under just over 35 million. Not bad. Plus, you know, Vitor Roque, once he comes and gets those bonuses, you know, for winning the Ballon d'Or and whatnot, that'll be another 31 million. But that's down the line. That's down the line. So big names coming in. A little bit of news actually from Mikhail. Again, keeping it with Barca Buzz here. Sharing that he stood out in training with for Xavi here, and Xavi placed him alongside Ronald Araujo in a lot of the sessions there. Apparently, Faye has stood out with his ball playing and physical presence. Xavi has given him a lot of prominence, so we'll see what he does here on the U.S. tour. Again, echoing what Barca Buzz has said here, intention was for him to join the Barca athletic side of the club. But who knows? Same thing happened to Pedri. Same thing happened to Araujo. Sometimes you come in, say, actually, you're ready for the big team. Ready to come up and play with the first team. Sometimes that happens. So We'll see. I have not seen this guy play yet. I imagine we'll see him play, as it says here, in some of the upcoming friendlies for the U.S. Tour. But again, keep your expectations reasonable. Okay, these are journalists who need to get clicks. Sometimes there's not a lot of news. All right, so you got to go with what you go with. So let's calm on the hype trains for these young players, but it is nice to see. It's nice to see some positive reviews. Good to see some familiar faces in the chat, as always. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out on a Monday afternoon this time around. So we've talked a little bit about some players coming and going. I want to share a couple updates here, keeping the spotlight on the transfer news. This one coming just a couple of days ago. Fabrizio Romano sharing that a new round of talks has been scheduled for Juventus and Franck KESSIE. He's a top target for the midfield, and Juve want to understand the player's plan as he always wanted to stay at Barça, which that is good to hear. But I will say, if Juventus are interested in Franck KESSIE, I think it does present an interesting opportunity for a player swap deal with none other than Weston McKennie. Come on, it would be perfect. Little Adest, little McKennie. Again, neither of them would be in the starting 11 for big matches. Neither of them would be the go-to players, but role players off the bench in the right time. Give them a significant role in Copa del Rey. Bring them on in the starting 11 for some of the lesser La Liga matches. This is perfect. Barcelona, not interested in keeping KESSIE. Juventus, not interested in keeping McKennie. McKennie is a box-to-box midfielder. He can do it on the ball. He can do it defensively. He's got a super throw-in. He's an aerial threat. All these are underrated traits for Weston McKennie. I'm just saying, after spending all of last summer pleading with Barcelona to bring in Weston McKennie, now is the time. KESSIE out. McKennie in. Now is the time. Let's make it happen, folks. I know some of you think I'm talking crazy talk, but now is the time. You got to read the tea leaves sometimes. The universe is giving Barcelona a gift here. We got to take advantage. Imagine that midfield. Pedri, Gavi, Frankie, Gundogan, Romeu, McKennie, baby. Come on. Come on. Perfect. Perfect off the bench. Think Paulinho times 10. Okay? Underrated, box to box, grit, but also the beauty as well. Make it happen. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, folks. I see already folks in the chat are saying no to this. Bringing up Leeds. Leeds are a far different team. Okay? You need the support around you as well. So a McKennie surrounded by Barcelona players, very different than a McKennie surrounded by Leeds players. He's there for the taking. Make it happen. Let's make it happen. That's all. Okay? I will say this. I think it is more likely that we get Weston McKennie than the recent reports of Bernardo Silva circling back, bubbling back up again, I should say. This is from City Chief saying Jorge Mendes, Bernardo's agent, wants Bernardo Silva to join Barca. Bernardo is said to be would be willing to reduce his salary to fit in. Barcelona have been in contact with La Liga, but a big sale is necessary. Folks, super calm. Let me just throw water over this one. I don't see this happening at all. If we can't afford to bring in Vitor Roque right now, if we have to wait until January or June, more likely, of 2024, how in the world do you think we're going to be able to bring in a Bernardo Silva? How does that make sense? There's one way that I see this happening, and that's with the sale of either Dembele or Raphinha. That's the only sliver of like, maybe, I guess, maybe. but you'd have to sell Dembele for 50 million, which is cheap. Or you'd have to ask someone to pay 80 million for Raphinha, just so you're not underselling. I don't think that happens. I really don't. Is there a world where we do a player swap with City? If Mahrez ends up leaving City to go play in Saudi Arabia, is there a world where City wants to swap Bernardo Silva for a Dembele or Raphinha? And would you take that deal? I was hating on this right away, but now we're just playing devil's advocate. Mahrez leaves, goes to Saudi Arabia. City look to Raphinha or Dembele, and we say, give us Bernardo Silva, and we'll give you one of these two players. Would you take that deal? And if so, would it be Dembele or Raphinha that you let go? That'd be tough. Boy, that would be tough. That would be tough. I'm torn. I don't think I would give up Raphinha. I would be tempted to give up Dembele, but I don't think I'd do it. Hesitantly, I don't think I would do it. Obi saying a Bernardo and Frankie swap is more likely. I would not give up Frankie for Bernardo. Different players, different roles. I would not give up Frankie for Bernardo. That would be a no for me, dude. 28 Boteas says Dembo and Raphinha should stay. Connor, how we doing, sir? Hope everything is well on your end. Ahmed says we don't need Bernardo so badly. If Bernardo for Raphinha or Dembele, then City are idiots. Neo says sell Gavi for Rodri. Probably. I could live with that. I mean, Gavi's one of my favorites, so it'd be a little bit tough. But if you were going no feelings, no sentiment, then you could make that deal. But I'm pretty sentimental, so I don't know. Is KESSIE McKennie swap financially beneficial for us? Well, we got KESSIE for free. So if we do a swap for McKennie, I think McKennie's value ultimately for what we can sell him for would be higher than KESSIE. That is my opinion. Jedi says I would give up Frankie for Mbappe. In the world, that doesn't exist where we're talking about that as an option. Sure, go for it. Go for it. I don't see it happening. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I would love to get your opinions. Of course, if you are watching this on replay, let me know down in the comments. I do appreciate when y'all keep the conversation going. And I do appreciate if you drop a like before you go. If you enjoyed today's content, show some love and support. Drop that like. Again, if you're watching over on TikTok, swipe over, click the link in the bio. That'll get you over to where you need to be. For those of you that are paying attention, got a little preview of some upcoming Barcelona merch that will be available on this channel soon. So make sure you stick around, subscribe, turn on notifications. We are live during the season every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for Barcelona news. We are right now on a summer schedule, so we're going to be like one day a week. Mondays seem to be that day. But make sure you subscribe, turn on notifications so you do know when we're live. Come hang out with us for the live streams. Cannot wait to get back to some regular action here. All right, that's still about a month away, but we'll get there. We'll get there, my friends. Okay, with that out of the way, we talked transfers, the ins, the outs, all the good stuff. I appreciate everybody coming and hanging out with me. Shout out to all my stash mods out there. Again, subscribe if you want to be part of the undefeated community. I hope to see you here next time. Until then, go out there and do good things. Lots of positive interactions, high fives, and hugs for whoever wants them. I appreciate y'all very much. Thank you so much for tuning in and taking a ride. Mwah.